Okay, and as is always unpredictable on live television and nights like this in the spin room following the debate, we now have Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard with us. Welcome. Great to have you with Fox News at night again. Okay, so I got to tell you that the Google search tonight showing that you are, once again, one of the most searched, if not one of the biggest names searched tonight. I know that you had some problems that you are contesting. Google did not treat you fairly after the last debate.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Look, in the first debate, I was on the first night, and I was the most searched candidate of that event. Unfortunately, Google chose to arbitrarily block our Google Ads account for several hours at the time that was most critical for our campaign. I'm suing Google for taking that action. They've provided no valid explanation for why that was done. There was no wrongdoing or problem on our part, not because of me, but because of this monopoly, this power that these big tech monopolies have to simply shut out people arbitrarily. This is a threat to our freedom of speech, and it's an important thing for us all to stand united in calling out and to protect, because whether you're a Democrat or Republican or on the left or on the right, for a big tech monopoly to have this power, this affects all of us.
Well, and this is a complaint we've heard from a lot of conservative outlets and groups who say that there are other social media outlets, including Google, who don't treat them fairly. It sounds like you're making the same assertion from the other side of the aisle.
I am, and I think one of the problems is that we're seeing is that people seem to feel like this is a left-right issue rather than seeing it for what it is, which is a free speech issue, and how dangerous it is that you have these big tech monopolies like Google and Facebook that literally have the power through their algorithms and the things that they choose to do or the people they choose to shut out to influence our fair elections. This is what's at the heart of the action that I'm taking, and I'm taking it on behalf of the American people.
And we know it's something that both sides are worried about, so we cover that a lot. We'll continue to track that. I know you don't have much time, we don't either, so I want to make sure we get to a couple important things. You said tonight, and it sounded like you didn't get to finish your answer, but you made an accusation tonight that this president, President Trump, is in some way supporting al-Qaeda. Now, is that in connection with our partnership with Saudi Arabia, our support of Saudi Arabia? What were you getting at with that?
Both his support and alliance with Saudi Arabia, that is both providing direct and indirect support directly to al-Qaeda, what to speak of the fact that Saudi Arabia continues to be the propagator of this Wahhabi Salafist ideology that provides the fertile recruiting grounds for terrorist groups like al-Qaeda and ISIS. This ideology is what drives them, and it's also connected to what's happening in Syria.
Do you see the validity, though, of a U.S. partnership with Saudi Arabia when it comes to managing problems in that region? Because across party lines, there have been a lot of discussions and a lot of talk about the fact that Saudi Arabia is a very important partner in that region when it comes to fighting terrorism.
Well, when you look at where that partnership has gotten us, once again, how can you say Saudi Arabia is a great partner in fighting terrorism when they are fueling and funding terrorist groups? In Yemen, they're providing arms and support to al-Qaeda in Yemen to fight against their opponent in the Houthis. They are strengthening al-Qaeda. Let's see where our partnership with Saudi Arabia has gotten us in waging a genocidal war in Yemen that has taken the lives of tens of thousands of people and causing millions more to suffer. And see where that partnership with Saudi Arabia has gotten us as they are amping and pushing for a war with Iran, a war that would be far more devastating, far more costly than anything we experienced in the war in Iraq. There is so much at stake here, and this is the kind of sea change in foreign policy that I'll bring as president.
Well, and we could go to those discussions about Syria and the competing interests there, and you have discussed that endlessly, but again, a lot of competing interests and tough things for the U.S. to navigate, regardless of who is president. We know that you speak with the experience of a combat veteran, which gives you a unique perspective. So thank you for popping in, and we'll see if we see you again in September.
I look forward to
the next round.
I hope to see you before then.
Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Okay, more from the Spin Room next.